What up? 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 What's going on? What is going on? Welcome back. Chinye, D Love. Good to see you all. Welcome back. Welcome. Shout out to you. You're right on time today, I see. Is it the topic? Well, we have about 3 topics to cover today. Right? Well, welcome. Shout out to you all. Let's have this. All right. Just wanted to make sure that audio is good. Is the audio good on your end? Just let me know if the audio is good on your end. Let me know really quickly if the audio is good on your end. We're talking about a couple that just got literally the last hour or two just got posted on Instablog Nigeria. Instablog Nigeria. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. Apparently, this is not news. This is the first time I'm seeing this. But I read some really crazy stuff, and I felt like, I'll be honest with you. Today I was really thinking about skipping. Like, I'm a little tired. So excuse me today. If you notice that my energy is a little bit down, I'm fine. But I think I need a little bit of rest. Okay? So I was thinking about it. Then, I remember earlier I posted about Mike Hill. Right? I remember earlier today I posted on the community page. If you're not part of the community page, make sure you're participating in the community page. I post stuff from time to time over there that is coming up as we are just going about our life, right? So make sure you're paying attention to, if you don't know who we're talking about today, we're talking about these folks right here. We're going to be talking about them today, okay? And then if we have time, I think I should make sure we have time. We got to talk about this. As you can see, it's too much of this kind of stuff happening. So we can't let them slide without extracting the lessons. Right? We have to make sure we are extracting the lessons. All right? So again, welcome. Without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back. Let's get into it. Let me first of all see who is here. Brother Patrick says, the Lord is your strength, my brother. We must finish this our 100 days fasting and prayer. Yes, exactly, right? Like, it's too early to give up. Honestly, all I need to do is take a shower, drink some water, relax, take some time off, 1 hour at a time, and I'm usually fine. But honestly, to be honest with you, when I come here and hang out, I'm almost instantly fine too. All I have to do is find my way down here. So thank you so much for that, brother Patrick. Now, everyone that's watching me right now, do me a favor. Just go ahead right now. Let's invite everyone into this room right now. All you have to do is hit that thumbs up. Okay, make sure you're hitting it, and also as people come in, make sure you're reminding them that they need to hit the thumbs up, right? But that's how we invite people here. Now, if you want to take a little extra step forward, all you have to do is grab the link to this video, all right, and send it to 3 friends. Okay, we have to have this conversation. Like, no, I couldn't afford to not have this conversation today. So we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, just like literally less than 2 hours ago, as I was just relaxing, I decided to pick up my phone. I was already like, maybe I'll do live tonight. Actually, if you probably noticed, you noticed that I did not. This wasn't scheduled like as far as earlier today, right? This was scheduled within the last hour, right? So I was looking, I was like, okay, all right, let's And then the next thing on my feed, I see Instablog Niger posted this story. And I'm like, oh Lord. Like not again. Not again. Let me lay a foundation for you, first of all, right? This can be anybody. Okay? This can be anybody that refuses to engage emotional intelligence. Anybody can get angry. Anger is temporary insanity. Some people are not so lucky to come out of it because, again, it's temporary. It's a form of emotion, right? So the word on the streets of Instagram is that this guy is a businessman. He's already been accused of this kind of situation in the past. As a matter of fact, trigger alert. As a matter of fact, the wife, I think some years back, had passed out while they were engaged in violence with each other. She passed out while she was pregnant. She actually completely passed out and she went into a coma. And eventually she woke up. And then they reconciled, right? Reconciliation sounds good, right? Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with reconciliation. Two people fight, they made up, right? Yes, on the surface, there's nothing wrong with it. But a lot could be wrong with it. See, those are two different sentences, right? Like, no, they don't contradict each other. Let me repeat myself to you. On the surface, reconciliation between two people, friends, husband and wives, they have a relationship, right? Reconciliation, there's nothing wrong with it on the surface. But a lot could be wrong with it. I didn't say there's always something wrong with it. A lot could be wrong with it. And that's something that we must pay attention to. These are the little nuances that can become the difference between life and death. Right? Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second, please. All right, sorry about that. You guys probably heard that bell, right? Just wanted to make sure everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with reconciliation on the surface, but a lot could be wrong with it. But let's get into the story, okay? Because we're going to extract some lessons out of their own words and whatever other people's opinions. If we have time, we'll get into comment. Honestly, I'm not sure we can have time to go into Mike Hill's and Cynthia Bailey's story today, because this is a big one. Maybe we'll make it tomorrow. Maybe I'll touch on it, maybe 10 minutes, because it's about 3 lessons from that particular union that is not over that I want us to make sure we identify. Okay? All right, good. Let me just see something here. All right, good. Let's get to going. Work has to be done for that reconciliation to work. Oshe, chiye. Exactly. Reconciliation by itself, it sounds beautiful, it sounds sweet. Right? But there's a problem here. Most people don't do the necessary work before they jump into other situations. Jumping doesn't mean it was quicker. Sometimes jumping took them 10 years, 12 years. But they never did the work. It's what makes it jumping. It's not the time. It's about you never did the work. You never sat down without pointing fingers and did the work. The work does not involve pointing fingers. Holding other human beings accountable is not work. It's not. It's just not. Okay? Listen, there's some things we have to look at squarely in the face, and I have to tell you as an absolute. Pointing fingers at other people and holding other people accountable is not work. That's the easiest part for all of us to do. It's extremely easy to do that. I can easily see how other people are wrong. I can see how you're wrong, that you're not helping me blow up this channel. I can blame you for not hitting the like button right now. I can easily blame you for that. That's easy, right? The hardest part is to say, Ola, you suck at creating content. You're not engaging. You're not entertaining. Your shit sucks. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Why is it hard to do? Because I feel like I'm working hard. Right? It's hard to do because it's holding self accountable without conflicting that with fault or blaming yourself or self-guilt. It's an extremely hard thing for people to do. It's very hard for people to do. So let's get. I'm gonna play a little video here really quickly. All right, and then we're gonna get into this. This is the couple right here, right? We're gonna get into everything they wrote here. We're gonna talk about this story. You can see me taking the screenshot. We're gonna get into all of that because, hey, you're going to see this story, you're going to relate, and you're going to have urges to blame another person. The work for you today is to see where you might be able to relate to participating in what created the deterioration of that relationship. Okay? Oh, by the way, if you are an in-law, right? Some type of if you are an in-law, you might be able to relate one way or the other too. In-laws or friends, right? Maybe you're not directly involved in a relationship, but maybe you are an in-law or a friend, right? You might be able to find something to relate with as well too. That's what I want you to pay attention to. The rest of it, I guess you can get entertained and say, hey, yeah, that person was at fault. Entertain yourself. All I'm saying is that that's not going to help to work on the inside. It might help you get entertained a little bit, right? But that sucks because but it's not exactly. You're not special. You're not a bad person for having a hard time holding yourself accountable. Majority of us have a hard time. See, a lot of men in the YouTube space very quick to say women and accountability don't go together. It's human beings for the most part. Okay? Especially if they are part of the loud minority that are the loudest on the internet. Let's look at this.
Jesus Christ. God of Jesus. Jesus Christ.
He sent my kids out at 11 p.m. It's allegations, right? Let's see here.
And my children, his money gone now.
So I'm not sure what we're watching exactly, but it looks like it was 2 years ago when they settled whatever conflict they had.
We love you. We love you. We love you. You are here.
So I'm not sure exactly what I'm watching, but it looks like they are friends, and they were basically begging her to stay. And they begged her to stay, and she's thinking about it and said, "We love you, just stay." You know, they also look like they're some type of socialized, maybe the elite in Lekki, right? So just pay attention to that. So they said Abimbola Ogbona. That sounds like their name, okay? So John now, they were begging her to stay. Please, please, just stay. Nigerian people are notorious for begging people to stay in toxic relationship without any suggestion for the necessary work. Sometimes it comes in the form of family meeting. Actually, a lot of times it comes in the form of family meeting. Sometimes it comes in the form of some elderly person, like that baba, that uncle that came to help you settle in a fight. You don't want to be disrespectful to that uncle, so you listen to the uncle, and then effectively you're being manipulated against your own will. That's fine, because sometimes manipulation can be influence, can be, hey, maybe they help you see the light. But here's a problem: there's no suggestion for working on whatever created the deterioration in that particular relationship. It's just that, please stay. Sometimes they say that stay because of your kids, right? Listen, they can paint it anything they want. They can call it anything they want. The main issue here is not doing the work. Doing the easy part about the work. Let's just beg her. She will stay. There's nothing out there for anybody. Those things are not necessarily not true. They're not necessarily lies. Right? It's true. There's nothing out there for anybody. Okay? But this is a terrible excuse to stay in a toxic situation.
We love you. We love you. We love you. You are here. You are here to stay. Happy Father of God. Put your hands down. I have been patient. I do not
Trigger alert. Trigger alert. Okay?
care. I have been patient. It is money that you and your baby mama would eat. Because you're not feeding me. I do.
No, pay attention to this, guys. Whatever was happening before that, we don't see. So we don't have the full context. The only context we have today is that she has finally left as of the news that broke out in the last few hours. She finally left after 2 years. After 2 years of the reconciliation, she left again, right? After 2 years of the story of her passing out with pregnancy after the altercation, right? Okay, so we don't have context. The only thing we can see right now is that she pulled out a camera. What do we know? Does that sound familiar? She pulled out a camera. She went live on Instagram. This is Instagram Live that I'm looking at. Shout out to Instablog Niger. She went live on Instagram, right? And she's filming her family, right? Okay. Now, what is going on inside of a man? Okay. I'm going to try my best to be extremely careful, okay? Because I will not be justifying bullshit today, right? There's never, ever no excuse to lay your hands on each other. Ever. There's no excuse. It doesn't exist. It's an absolute. There's no excuse, okay? There might be a reason, but your reasons they're useless. Because there are some people that on the other side of this, they have irretrievable damages. So there is still no excuses. There's no legit excuses to ever lay your hands on anybody. Let me add on to this. Okay? There is no ever any legit excuses to pull out a camera and stay in the presence of what you consider danger and be filming your family. There's no excuses for it. Oh, just in case I need to protect myself. Just in case I need to use this in the court of law. Those are extremely terrible excuses. You stayed there in the presence of danger, wherever it is you consider danger, to be filming it. These are terrible excuses to stay in toxic situations.
My business, I do my business, and then I feed myself and my children. So why would you give us that money? Put your hands on me now. Aren't you violent?
She went live to say, put your hands on me, right? Relax, okay? I'm not defending him. Pay attention to what I said 2 minutes ago, okay? Just relax, right? But she's filming her own family saying, you're going to put your hands on me or something like that, right? She's trying to pass, and there's an undertone. There's something going on behind the scenes for her. She's trying to pass a message. She's live on Instagram. Right?
Thanks. I would not leave till you give me my pound of.
He opened the door. He said, leave. And said, I will not leave. And she says, what? I need a pound of flesh. Now, this date was October 2020. This was 2 years ago, few days before the NSARS saga, according to this thing right now, right? This is 2 years ago. So this is not the recent situation. I'll show you the dates in a second. They actually label them with dates, okay? We're gonna believe them and go with the dates. It really doesn't matter, okay? Bottom line is that this is extremely toxic situation. And if you have to pull out a camera and film a toxic situation, you are probably toxic. You're probably a toxic person. Or the best you can claim is that they've lured you, or another human being has caused you to become toxic. That's possible. You can be influenced to become that. You may be in a situation where you have resentment and you're just tired of it. But you're all full-blown adult. And you can choose where you spend, what you're spending your time on. What you spend your time on are the things you value. It's not what you say. It's not what you say with your mouth. They are the things you spend your time on. If you spend your time on toxic behavior, you value toxic behavior. It's sick. It's the word I'm looking for is that you are sick. If you're that type of person, it doesn't matter if you're a man, or there are men pulling out cameras to film right now today. They claim it's evidence just in case she claims I beat her. That's terrible. That's terrible. If you're not present, you couldn't be accused of anything. You're present. You stayed there because you're subtly enjoying toxic. You're addicted to toxic environment. This is just the bottom line based off of what we can see, the reality.
Flesh. I would leave till you give me my pound of flesh. I would not leave. I will report you to EFCC and I will report you.
She will report him, the husband of 19 years. She will report him to EFCC. All right? Trigger a lot. Everyone is going to get triggered, men and women. Trigger a lot, okay? She's frustrated. I'll give her that. She's absolutely frustrated. Because no normal human being will be acting like this unless something is going on. Whatever is frustrating her is what we don't know. Is this self-inflicted? I don't think so necessarily either. But that's what we're getting at right now. There are things we don't know. There's so much we don't know that we will never know. What we know is that you've seen this type of behavior with people before, and they usually don't end well. If you find yourself in a situation where it might be ending up in that way, do you think it might be wise to just remove yourself as soon as humanly possible without judging people that they couldn't until they were by, right? We're not judging those people. That's gone. That's past tense. If you're here, do you think it might be wise, either you're a man or woman, if things are escalating, that you can grab your keys and walk away? Do you think you're dumber than the other person if you do that? Is that how you think? Are you thinking in short term? Do you feel cheated if you don't address it and accuse him of reporting him to EFCC? Do you think it makes you feel better as a man when you say, okay, open, leave this house? What about you grabbing the keys and leaving as a man? There's literally second by second by second by second, literally thousands of them that leads down to the point where there's an altercation and a pregnant woman passes out. It doesn't just fall out of the skies. Let's not pretend like this kind of event fall out of the skies. There's a reason, right?
To the police. Put your hands down. I have been.
All right, so that was that right there. And I want to go through each one of these screenshots. And before I go through that, I want to see what you all are talking about in the chat. Okay, because this right here is it's obviously toxic behavior, right? Hey D'Souza, good to see you. Bagaba says, latecomer squad, welcome, welcome. Taunting him at that particular moment. Thank you. Like, we're going to look at it objectively, right? Right? She has her reasons for taunting him, but that's exactly what she was doing as an adult in that point in time. When you're taunting people and they seem quiet like that, as of today, I'm going to read it to you. The news is that he tried to burn the house down with her inside the house and the children. Remember, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. Remember, he was accused. His name is somewhere on the internet. Okay, I'm going to show that for you in a second. Where he was accused of beating his wife, pregnant wife, until she passed out into coma. That news is out there. Is he walking around with anger for the past 2 years? Or when they got back together and they reconciled, they actually reconciled publicly. That's what I read earlier. When they did that, right? Did they do the necessary work, or it was just like, oh, let's just slide it in there and let's keep working? Is that what happened? These are the questions, right? Word, just walk away. I grew up with my father grabbing. He would grab. Listen, I didn't grow up in a perfect home. They were perfect compared to a lot of the stories, right? But they had their fair share of argument, disagreements that I grew up and I saw. One thing I noticed a few times my father would do is grab his keys and he will go and sit down with the guys and they will play draft. I forgot what they call draft. I think there's draft in the United States. I'm not sure. But they will go and play again. By the time they come, what happens when you come back? Oh, she might say, hey, you walked away, you come and find me here. If it's really bad, right? But if it's a mild, regular situation, usually things would have calmed down a little bit, right? Do you think you're softer for walking away? Is this how your brain works? If you walk away, if you don't put your foot down and tell her how you feel, do you think you're softer? Is that how your brain works? Because that's short-term thinking. You can be absolutely destroyed by your need to be right. Hey, Mrs. She said, good to see you. Now, this is very important. Chie, thank you for pulling me back on this one. This is very important. Anything I say on this platform is easier said than done. That's why it's highly rewarding. That's the whole point. That's why I call it work, right? Anything I say on this platform as a suggestion, as in what you should probably do, as in probably the wise thing to do, is easier said than done. Remember, let's rewind back about 30 minutes backwards, maybe 25 minutes. I said it's easy for me to blame you all for not having 180 people watching me right now. It's the fault of all these people that come here and they only watch 2 minutes and they leave. It's affecting the algorithms. It's harder for me to face myself in the mirror and say, Ola, you suck at content creation. You're not entertaining. You need to work harder on engaging people, using the right words, transitional words, being entertaining, put on a show. Remember to play your sound effects so that people can laugh, right? That's harder. It's easier for me to just blame it on all 15 of you watching me right now. And I can just, and it's even easiest to just quit and say, this shit don't work, right? So work is hard. Default, hello? Yeah, it's difficult. That's why it's rewarding, because everyone else don't want to do the work. That's the whole point. If it was that easy, everyone else would be getting this right. Right? So thank you for pulling me back on that. Yeah, it does take a lot of strength to leave, especially when it's toxic. So the toxin is highly, highly addictive. It's extremely hard to get out of an argument when it's like the need to be right is toxic, but also very addictive. Short term. Then by the time you're done with it, maybe a few hours later, you're like, that was stupid. Why did I put so much energy into that? Some people are not lucky enough to come back from it. Yes, I think it's called checkers, right? Is it called checkers? Draft. I think it's called checkers. You're right. I think so. Thank you for that. She says, I saw enough toxic relationships in my childhood. I knew what I didn't want. Thank you. See, the effect on some people is they know what they don't want. Some other people are so addicted to it, they attract it. They attract more of it, sadly. Right? I knew what I didn't want. I'm stronger for leaving the negative relationship. Yes, because it takes strength to leave, right? But it's muscles. The more you know how to walk away from toxic relationship, you're building muscles. You're building muscles. The more you know how to walk away from toxic relationship, you're building muscles. And the more you find yourself staying in it, what happens when you continue to smoke that thing that you know is bad for you? It's a matter of time. You're just getting weaker. Like eventually the liver will start failing, right? Eventually the liver will fail. Eventually some other organs will start to fail in your body, or they get weaker and weaker and weaker, right? So yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah. How are you, brother Patrick? How are you, sir? Can you hear me? Let me know once you can hear me. Let's see here. Let me go through some of the screenshots that I took here. Let's get through it really quickly. Brother Patrick, can you hear me? Okay, you might have to drop out and come back in. All right, so this is the couple we're talking about, IVD and Bimbo. Okay, we're talking about them. It was posted earlier on Instablog Nigeria earlier on today, and this is what it says. It says it was gathered that the incident happened at their residence in. This was just a few hours ago, at their residence in Mega Mound Estate, Lekki. Mega Mound Estate in Lekki, Lagos on Wednesday, October 12th. That's today, right? According to a source, the victim had confronted her husband. Okay. Let me go ahead and share this. Brother Patrick, can you hear me? Okay, good. Welcome. How are you, sir? Good to see you. All right, so let me get through the screenshots and then we can talk. Yeah, take some notes. I woke up to a noise of the duo fighting in their house. I saw IVD, that's the husband, okay? I saw IVD beating and punching this woman. This is somebody's account. We don't know if it's true. It's an allegation, right? This woman, while she was screaming for help, the next thing she did was to use petrol. Oh, she did. Thank you. Thank you, God, for going back to read this. The next thing she did was to use petrol and set their house ablaze. Bimbo quickly jumped into the swimming pool as their luxury cars and apartment were almost razed to the ground. Luckily for them, their two kids were able to boat out on time. Crazy. I quickly called for help and we rushed Bimbo and IVD to the hospital. Unfortunately, she was burnt beyond recognition. I have not read this part. This is crazy. Trigger alert. If you can't handle it, please leave the room. Unfortunately, she was burnt beyond recognition. This is coming after weeks of her complaints on WhatsApp about what she has been enduring in her marriage. A source familiar with the incident said, this was posted a few hours ago. I'm not sure anybody else is carrying this yet, outside of Instablog Nigeria posting it. I'm sure a few people are probably carrying it. Let me just go ahead and take this out real quick. Oh Lord, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to get to the Michael story today. Excuse me. The next thing she did was to use, okay, we already went back there, okay. Recall that in May 2019, Bimbo regained consciousness after she was beaten to coma by her husband during pregnancy. Then on October 4, 2020, this is 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago, and a few days, IVD had released a video of him reconciling with his wife. These dumb people, they always release a video of reconciliation. They only care about what the public think. They don't want to do the internal work. Days after she released an expose explaining how she suffered domestic violence from him for 19 years. We can't post the full video here due to IG guidelines. I'm not gonna post the video here. I didn't even go into there because they have like this what do you call it, where they post the full video. There's no need to worry about that because again, the lessons are the lessons. There's a couple more here that I want to go through. Okay, this was the older post from 2 years ago. This was May 28, 2019. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria for keeping these records. Pregnant lady final. This was the original news. Okay, pregnant lady finally wakes up from coma after being battered by husband. Bimbo, the 8-month pregnant lady whose sister called out her husband, Dari Ogbonna, for allegedly beating her to coma, has finally regained her consciousness after days of battling for her life. Speaking of what led to the battery, Bimbo allegedly revealed that she was having an argument with his brother-in-law. In-laws! Hey, in-law. Especially the online in-laws. Pay attention to this conversation, okay? Because either you know it or not, you are influential in the people around you. You are influential in the lives of the people around you. And the people that you surround yourself with are influential in your life. In-laws, friends, especially in-laws, because these are family, right? These are the people you always knew. They're the easy people to fall back on when there's problem in your marriage. But that's not always the wise thing to do. That's not always the wise thing to do. Let's keep going. For the most part, it's not the wise thing to do. And we'll talk about that. However, her husband sided with his brother and gave her a dirty slap. And they started fighting. A dirty slap. She added that Mr. Ogbonna badly beat her up and pulled off her braids. He eventually stopped when she collapsed. The wife was then rushed to the hospital where doctors fought hard to resuscitate her. She has now been booked for an emergency CS to deliver the baby. In a related, so the baby we're talking about, if the baby was okay, it's probably 2 years old now. So that's another human life involved after you chose not to do the right work. In a related development, one of the Bimbo's friends, Irene, revealed that this is going to be, let me make sure I get that. This is going to be the 6th time she would be battered in such manner and condition. 6th time is not your mate. 6 times is a lot. Anyway, back to September 30, 2020, just a few weeks ago. She posted this. What did she post? She posted a picture of herself slaying mama on Instagram. She goes, so that's her handle, I guess. Wolfgang. It's time I address that Instablog issue. That Instablog issue from over 2 years ago. It's true. It happened. And I want you all to know that I gave my sister the permission to clear her chest the best way she felt. So the sister came and put that news out there at that time. All right. This is sadder than I thought because I'm just seeing for the first time that she might have been burnt beyond recognition. I'm seeing that for the first time and it's kind of affecting my composition right now. My sister has been one of the people oiling my marriage from the very first beginning. Look, there is no shame in this. I walk with my head up high. Do you? Without judging her, please let me talk to anyone that's listening to me. If you stay in a situation where you're being disrespected, it's a sign of lack of self-respect. Okay? It may not be your fault. It may be just the way you're raised. It may just be, But again, we're not talking about fault. We're talking about what is, so you can be aware, so you can use in your favor, right? I walk with my head up high, with my integrity intact. Do you? It's not my sin So why should be the one always paying, or why should I be the one always paying the price for things that has been done to me continually? I feel no shame and no pain. In fact, 2020 will always be my best year because I woke up. I can't imagine, because she woke up from the coma, she's saying. I can't imagine. See, I was reading the small part, the original post. I was like, no, I need to read this with my people. Right? And I just took screenshots. I recorded the screen. I said, okay, we're going to talk about this. This looks like it's something crazy. I can't imagine I put my family, especially my brothers, through so much pain in their hearts. I'm doing extremely well in my business and I'm extremely happy. I am extremely happy I am at the place right now, and I forgive everyone who ever did me wrong, and forgive me too. If you're angry with me, I am not perfect. I am just a girl who wants to be happy. Let's go on to the next year. I remember when I got the email that took my soul away. Oh, I cried for months. This is, again, she posted this on September 30th, 2020. I cried for months. I couldn't sleep. My health began to fail me. A couple of times I attended, self-deletion, yet death won't come. A couple of times I have cut my wrist and blade, yet I did not bleed or feel pain. Still, it did not change you. Now he's referencing the husband. You became even worse. Little did I know that God was preparing for the best. I paused my entire life for 19 years for you to rise. Stayed home to raise children, and I was only a child myself. Then anxiety and PTSD came. I began to self-isolate. I did not want to see sunlight. Not until my friends who could hear my pain in silence sent a therapist, an in-house therapist, to come save me. Tell the world how you have never supported and encouraged me for a day. For your children's sake, I won't go into shocking details, but I have come to you in the open. I filed for a divorce, something you have dragged and delayed. Honestly, I don't want to go to court. Well, you have to go to court because there are legalities involved and there may be a blind spot for you yourself. You need to go to court. You need to get a lawyer, especially if you live in Lekki, get a lawyer and go to court because there's going to be blind spots and loopholes that only professionals can help you cover. And if you don't feel like there's anything, you just want to save your life, well, the other person probably won't feel that way. They might feel the need to protect their own interest. Sometimes the way for them to protect the interest of their children, because a lot of people will file for divorce and then will remove they will basically not allow the father to see their children. Right? There are a lot of men that have filed and literally kidnapped the babies and run away with the baby to another state. That happens here in the United States too. You know, once we're talking about marriage, the paperwork are involved. There are legalities. So you can't say, I don't want to go to court. You can't. And you can't do that to escape the work that's necessary. Okay, let's keep going. Something you have dragged and delayed. Honestly, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to put my children through such trauma. It's too late. But this is what I want. I have been with you for 19 years. Just give me my pound of flesh and allow me my freedom and peace. I really need to be in my safe space to focus on my life, my business, and my children. So while in the beginning, let me correct this. In the beginning, I said maybe the husband was angry. Who knows what was happening? According to the post I saw earlier, unless there's a mistake in the pronouns, she's the one that put that basically poured petrol on the house and tried to burn the house down. Right? But there's still some conflict there. Maybe they meant to say he. I don't know. Because if you look at this post right here, It says 2 years after the publicly reconciled wife of popular businessman IVD escapes being incinerated at their home. Okay, but they didn't say who did it. But this post did say she. Let me see here. I'm trying to find it. The next thing she did was to use petrol and set the house ablaze. That's what that post says. Anyway, but I can't continue to do this to myself. I choose not to move from the very spot again. I want to say a very big thank you to my family and friends who have supported and stood by me and helping get out of my feet again. Get on my feet again. I owe my journey of success to God and you all. Ireo. Let me see. I think there is a little extra here. She posted another one here where she says, "Dearest husband, it has been an amazing 19 years of being with you." Maybe this is the beginning. Maybe this was the beginning actually. Yeah, I think it was the beginning. So let's just note that. "Dearest husband, it has been an amazing 19 years of being with you. I remember when I met you, it's almost like a Cinderella story. Don't they always start like that? If you are not yet married, your first 2 years is a facade when you do get married. No, it's not. There's no premarital counseling that's going to protect you from this. I'm sorry. Premarital counseling is nice. It's cool. It's cute. A little preparation, a little bit of cushion to land on, just in case. Okay. But you're not going to escape the amount of work that will be extracted from your experience in those first 2 years. You don't even know yourself. You don't even know yourself. Anyway, it was a Cinderella story. It was love at first sight. Oh, maybe that's one of the problems. Let's keep going. An ordinary street child who had dreams to fulfill. I left my father's palace to join you in the streets. Pay attention. Pay attention and teach and guide you how to get to the top. If you feel like you have to teach your men, there's probably something wrong. Probably. Okay? Because we learn from our wife too. Okay? But if you say it this way, let's keep things in context. Okay? Teach and guide you to get to the top. Something is wrong with that picture. Even when my parents refused of this, well, your parents knew what they were talking about. I went out of my way and became pregnant with my first child. Only then did my father give me to you. So she manipulated her father with a pregnancy, according to this post, to give her hands in marriage. Only then did my father give me to you. A wedding, he actually paid all the bills because I was the favorite child. I was only but a child in my youth. My best years, I have to freely, without any second thought. I never knew I was heading for the worst. I won't give details of the torment and torture and pain I went through. For 19 years, I struggled with all this, passing through each day with so much burden in my heart. Can we all agree that the foundation was terrible? Can we agree to that right now in the chat? I'm coming to your comments, okay? Because I need to chop it up with my brother here, right? Can we all agree that the foundation was bad?
100%, sir.
Oh, all right. Let's keep going. I was only but a child in my youth. My best years are freely without any. Okay, I already went through that. For 19 years, I struggled with all this, passing through each day with so much burden in my heart. I had to deal with you, your friends, and then your baby mama, and women you have had dealings with. I met you with a penny, man. This was a union constantly funded by my father, my sister, and her husband, my brother, and then my mom, who is practically our superhero, 100%. My mom gave us her car to use for years. By the way, there are many successful marriages that started with struggle in the beginning, but they eventually became successful. So let's not demonize people that are started with a humble beginning, right? The part that I'm calling the bad foundation is the fact that she eloped. She admitted to eloping with a man that couldn't even stand on his own feet. He couldn't even take care of himself, much less, according to her, much less taking care of another human being, maybe with 3 other people. Right? Anyway, let's keep going here. My mom gave us her car to use for years when we had no car to cover our shame. A union that has my blood, sweat, effort, tears, strength, money, existence. Does it sound like resentment too? See, when you hold in all this level of resentment, nothing good can be born out of it if you don't do the work. Gradually, I've begun to sink deep in. I raised you. Does this sound like somebody that is walking with her heads up high? What did she say? Integrity intact. She's doing the work on Instagram, monitoring spirit everywhere. Gradually, I've begun to sink deep in. I raised you, helped you get to the top, forgetting to even raise myself. How could you raise another person if you haven't raised yourself? I was thinking if you got to the top, you would give me a helping hand up, man. I was so wrong. Money and fame made you worse. So this is apparently, if you know who this guy is, please let me know in the chat. I don't know who he is, but they're claiming that it's some type of socialite. Here's some additional post from her. Please massage his ego. The world should drag me and insult me and persecute me, drag me harder. So clearly, people were starting to look at her story and say maybe they have doubts. I don't have doubts. Her story is, I believe her. But if I have to believe her, then she's going to have to own up to a terrible foundation that she created with getting pregnant for a man that your family refused. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, you need solid men in your life. If you don't have a father to help you vet, there's just some things that you're not capable of knowing about a man. As men, especially wise men, we can pick up bullshit. If a man is like, oh, I'm dreaming. Yes, they can have a dream. But there's some things that we can listen to, that we can hear. Right? There is no need to force anyone to see your worth. Let them stay blind. By the time they see it, you may be reading off into the spotlight. Now, if you remember this picture right here, this is the kind of picture she's posting on Instagram. She's clearly looking for some type of attention. Unless she's some kind of superstar or something. She's Tiwa Savage. Why is she posting this on Instagram? There's nothing wrong with posting the picture you want on Instagram. I'm just saying, when you connect this with these stories, some things may be aligning. I don't judge anyone for posting what they want to post. And I'm not backpedaling. I'm just saying you can predict some things based off of certain moves, right? And if a woman is going through everything she says she's going through, it's little to no wonder why she may be seeking attention in the wrong places. This is the screenshot from earlier when she said, he sent my kids and I. This was October 30, 2020. This was 2 years ago. He sent my kids and I out at 11. Nah, it's fine, IVD. I will revisit this particular incident in 2022. Okay, so what? You stay there so you can revisit this in 2022? What are we talking about here? Can there be peace now? You want the world to drag me because everything. She's posting all of this on social media. Are you seeing the red flag? If you saw this few days ago, would you be able to tell that today we will have a terrible story of a person potentially burnt beyond recognition? You want the world to drag me because everything I said about you is the truth. Okay, please sit down with an NSC and enjoy them. Drag me, but I will forever be better than you. I have no regrets whatsoever. Marriage is not a competition. You don't have to try to be better than your wife or your husband, ever. If you find yourself feeling like you need to be better, leave. It's not a do or die. My wife told me that a long time ago. It's really not a do or die. If you're not getting value, short, mid, and long term from being in that relationship, why would you? It's 2022. Let's be honest. I'm not for it must do or die. It must no. You don't have to. To the point where you get angry, and you go grab petrol. At that point in time, obviously, we're not talking about mental health. We're not talking about where they don't enter. There's nobody normal that's pulling out petrol to burn down the house. I hope this makes you extremely happy. At the end of the day, I am who I am, and it will never be another me. So enjoy this, and let's see what will happen in another 2 years. So it looks like people were not sensitive, right? It looks like people were not sensitive to what she was going through. If I saw this, unless she's my client, I wouldn't address it on social media. I'm sorry, I can't save a person that's already posting stuff on social media. There's a good chance they're not willing to listen. They're going to consider every type of holding accountability. They're going to consider it dragging, as you can see here, right? Look at this right here. Okay. I don't know what date this was, but it looks like this was the sister that posted this. They seem happy. They seem like normal. They seem everything is fine. Don't they always seem happy, right? Let's read what this says. This is the last one I'm going to read, and then we have to talk. We have to talk, okay? Mama Jazz, I think this was the sister. Ike, if anything happens to my sister, this was the original post she put out. The sister, right? In-laws. When I do well, right? Did she do anything wrong? Nobody did anything wrong. Trust me. Nobody. Remember this?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's not about right and wrong. It's about outcomes, results, the result you're creating, the outcome, right? The eventuality, right? The lessons that we're going to learn today. She didn't do anything wrong. Okay? She didn't do anything wrong. She was trying to save her sister. And the way she thought she could save her sister is supposed to put out the family on Instagram. Right? Hike, if anything happens to my sister, if she doesn't make it to life, I will destroy you with everything I have. I have kept quiet, not anymore. I have to cut my trip because of you and your family. You guys beat up a pregnant woman. I have kept quiet and I'm ready to tell the world this story. If my sister deletes, I will delete you with my own last breath. I have had enough. Okay? That was the picture from back then. All right, so now let's talk about this. Brother Patrick, let me get some words from you, sir, before we continue. Because I want to go to the comments. I'm sure they have a lot to say.
Wow. The foundation is very rocky. Now, the Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? And the Bible says, can leopards change his skin? Because like two of them are the same. I tell you, even the video you showed, the way the lady was talking, and after what the guy did 2 years ago, when she almost got deleted, she still went back, and the guy had some bad baby mama with some other concubine. What does she need from the guy? It's pathetic. I tell you, let me share an experience. When we were younger, one of my friends that we grew up together, by the time the father is beating him, the guy will be rolling from the staircase. The man will pick him up, beat him, and nobody ever says stop. So, meanwhile, the mother has to leave the house. So, we were younger then, we were teenagers, so we just met the man in the road. He was going to the mother's house. The mother has packed out. Not knowing that the father had another intention. He went to pie the mother. You know what I mean? Delete the mother. That was serious. So. The mother, we just left the mother's side with the guy because they were separated. So as we were going, we met the man on the road. The man asked the guys, "Is your mom?" Oh yeah, it's just at home. Thank God, the woman lost her arms. She's late now. The woman spent up to 5 months in the hospital. The man just pieces the woman. You know what I mean? With what he used. And the man, up till now, people don't even know if the man is alive or if he deleted himself. So some people are just like that.
Some people are just like that. Don't see. I always tell people, don't try to change people. Change, they will change. Time will tell. Some people do change, but it's not you that will change them. Is what I'm saying. It's not you, especially if you're the one inside of the.
Our prayer is that our daughters will not meet such men. My brother, it's easy to tell the story.
But Brother Patrick, let's slow down a little bit. Right now, in this moment in time, okay, we do. I was about to say we don't have a video of him, Patrick, but we do have the story from 2 years ago.
What do you need? You have the background story now.
And it's public.
Your first statement, you said no match,
ever. There's no excuses. There's no excuses.
And for him to go to that extent, if it is America, what will have happened?
I believe the part of the story where they said she had to collapse first before he stopped. These things happen. But we also know, let me just be sensitive because, again, to both parties, right? There's no excuse to put your hands on each other. When you carry petrol bitibawo and light a house ablaze, at that point in time, you should be checking yourself into a psychiatric home. Say, I need help. I'm not feeling right.
And the woman herself, it has gotten to a state that she's ready to delete her stuff. Not considering the children. It has gotten to a mental issue.
Yes. That's what happens when you lack self-love. I think there's a post here about self-love. Yes, this part right here from Mrs. She said, when you lack self-love, you can't love another person. You can't give what you don't have. You can't. If anything, I did it because I love you, I did that, I try to lift you up, bro. Now I'm talking about, dude, like I'm talking about you, lady. You will end up blaming yourself.
It does also happen when some ladies or some men, when their spouse broke up with them, they will say,
yes.
It's either I delete you or both of us delete ourselves. I can't live again. It has gotten to a mental issue.
Yeah, if you have to puncture a tire, because somebody broke up with you, you're not normal anymore at that point. Don't wait until you burn down a house. All you have to do is like, I need to go and scratch that car right now. If you think that, you lack self-love and self-respect. And nothing good is gonna come out of it, Emmanuel says it's harder to leave when you have children in the marriage. Yes, anything we say here is easier said than done. We'll keep reminding you, but nonetheless, what needs to be done? Okay? And you haven't the financial means to resource. You can't tell me not from a guy who has made it and crashed and burnt all of his money and then made it and multiple times. Nah, you can't blame this on money, bro. You can't. Money is a byproduct of your relationships. Call daddy, call mommy, call papi. Tell them I'm coming over. Sleep under a bridge if you have to. We can't blame it on finances. I agree with you that it's easier said than done. I agree with you on that. But when we're talking about this kind of news that has happened today, right now, potentially, allegedly, you can't retrieve it. You can't, like, this damages. You can't retrieve this kind of damage.
Bro, we have had several cases. Even when a lady take a restraining order against the man, go and hide it and delete the woman.
Yeah.
So just like you said, our sister should vet. It is very important, because once you say I do and you sign the dotted line. Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things that's an absolute no-no, if you're listening to me, don't elope with a guy. There's no excuses for it. Don't say they don't support him. I'm just going to go and elope with that guy. The end is usually not good. There's some exceptions out there, right? Like, oh, they didn't agree with him, but eventually they came around. Yes. Right? But I'm telling you, for the most part, don't let me say for the most part, because I don't know the numbers. You have to be careful. Be careful. If you feel the need to elope with a guy, you have to be careful. It's probably something wrong that you can't see because you're in love.
Yeah, something is wrong with the girl too, for how to do that.
Yes, something is off.
Not really in love. You just get...
It's not love, it's in love. In love is different from love. It's not love. Absolutely not. It's a feeling. And it's a feeling that can destroy you. Because feelings are temporary by nature, right? They're off of how you feel right now. They're short term. Right? You gotta be careful with that.
Then, so she doesn't even know life. She's just enjoying herself. Maybe
exactly.
Guy was giving her what other guys were not giving. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've been there too now. I went to university in Nigeria. I'm not a baby.
She did say she was a favorite child.
I understand. Yeah.
Was she spoiled? You know? Oh, terrible. Can you imagine the trauma on those poor kids? Yeah, they're going to have to deal with that in their own lives. Sadly. Okay? Sadly, they're going to have to deal with that. She said extremely happy, right? Chinye. She said that, right? It's the cap. It's the cap. See, sometimes this is why this story is important that we go through it today, right now. Sometimes I'm seeing it ahead of time and I'm calling cap on it, right? Well, we know the end of this story right now, right? At least as of this point, it's not good, right? Extremely happy, that's impossible. First of all, happy is the wrong word to use. Do you have joy?
Yeah.
Right? Happy is short term. I'm the kind of guy I say you should be happy. You should want to feel happy, by the way.
There's an oxymoron there.
Yes, now.
He said 19 years of suffering. And you are saying you are similarly
how are you happy? She the wine mini. Compensating and she's feeling leveling up. No, she's getting a little bit of attention from girlfriend. They probably hit like, double tap. And she's feeling good about herself. She put that picture out.
You know, the problem is that she felt ashamed. That she disappointed herself, disappointed her family, having eloped. I don't want to...
And I keep saying, shame. Shame is one of the things that I push absolutely against. Because when it's internalized, it's not a good thing, right? Some people feel shame and they now come on to social media. They feel they need to tell everybody, I'm extremely happy now. I've never slayed mama. Yes, we're going to do it, right? All this kind of stuff, right? But it's actually shame they feel inside. It's self-guilt. It's destructive. So I don't suggest that anyone try to build anything from shame because it affects self-esteem, right? It tampers with self-esteem, right? Instead, I personally believe in some type of empowerment in the absolute sense of self-empowerment. Like, listen, whatever it is you're doing, make sure that you feel solid all the way inside. It's not enough for me to come and say I'm happy. You have to be that inside. It starts from the inside. you know. But when you're going through something, you wrote that. If you feel the need to type that type of story, that long ass story on Instagram, something is wrong. It has nothing to do with if you are right in that story or not. Remember, I said I believe you are right. But that need to type all that out, you're seeking validation from all those millions of monitoring spirits. Nothing good can come out of it. Like you picked that right, bro Patrick. It's shame that she's dealing with inside. That's why she felt the need to come and be seeking validation on the outside.
Yeah, let's take a cue from the prodigal son. After realizing, yes, I'm in shambles, he went back home.
Go back home. In that one, I have no shame. Go back home. Go back home. Don't come on social media to tell us stories. You're not helping yourself. In Nigeria, people still question the viability of therapists. You're overthinking the word therapist. You need someone to hear you out. Something is lacking inside. You need to hear another person's perspective, but you need to feel heard too, because there's a good chance that she probably feels no one understands her. That's why she wrote the story, and then she came on the story on our Instagram story and started saying, people are dragging me, go ahead and dragging me. That's a person that's not happy in spite of the effort to try to be happy by putting some kind of image out there. Online in-laws, they always remind people, we're enough, we don't want to hear this anymore. After a while, they start getting tired. They will tell you, okay, go and deal with it inside. But if you go into the comment area, you will see this. We're gonna go into the comment and see some of the stuff they're saying too. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. You are saying, it's so pathetic that this young guy with a wife, with their kids, was, and this thing has been not long on for 90 years. That's a long time. 19
years is a long time. The damages you would have created by staying in what you claim to be that toxic.
So what's the essence of the marriage? If you look at it, is it by posting in Instagram to validate your marriage? That doesn't make sense.
It's validation. A lot of people do that these days.
Everything she has written even portray what she's going through. You can't conceal anything. She just want to say something.
Unless you are selling something, brother Patrick, unless you are selling something, don't tell stories on social media. Don't do that. Unless you're selling something that the people that are watching the story will give you money for it at the end. Don't do that to yourself.
Because is the guy posting stuff too? I'm not sure.
No. He's not. I think he's some kind of socialite businessman or something like that. He probably is ashamed right now too. It's probably but he's not posting stuff. The postings that we have, at least at this moment on this show right now, is from the girl's sister and herself and Instablog Niger. Isn't she mentally healed? Yes, and she will go back anyway. More power to her family. Yeah. I think it was blind love. May we not be this blind and yeah. Go ahead, sir.
That's not love, my brother.
That's not love. Yeah.
It's not love, I tell you.
It's not a pepper them something.
And such men, like my friend, I told you, I just related the story now. The father had other women that had babies for him too.
Right. She said that. She said there were baby mamas and other girls that she had to deal with.
So apparently the lady knew.
Yeah, she knew exactly what she was in. The people the type of person you will beg to stay after that type of incident, that pregnancy incident, that person is not right. That person is not right in their head. If after that type of event happened, he now came. Oh, he posted something according to some of the stuff I read earlier. He posted the reconciliation publicly after she came back to stupid. So here's the lesson in that. Some men do that. Some men do that. Oh, let's just tell the whole world that everything. Don't do that to yourself. See, the problem is that you lack patience. The one thing that every man must have. Patience. You lack patience. You can't wait long enough until the public has seen that, oh, they seem to be doing well. Kudos to them. It's been like 20 years since that event happened. You lack patience for the rest of your life. You lack patience that potentially the world may never know that you guys reconciled. You have to make the world know in this moment in time. That behavior is toxic. That behavior that everyone must know right now, everybody must know that I'm a perfect man. Remember, Bishop. Everybody must know that I'm a perfect man is toxic behavior.
There's even it's now time for some institution to be taking action. Like that, so maybe the guy belongs to some club, they should just take him out as a member. Say, no, we don't want you to be member again. Maybe his contract will be revoked. You know that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Those are the things that happens to men that are actually men of the eventually get ejected out of the societies or that they belong to. But in Nigeria, it's a different story, Patrick.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nigerians in general, especially the ones back home, are insensitive or lack empathy. Yes, they do. Even me, I have things that I want to say out of my chest right now, but I have to be a little bit extra sensitive right now because, this woman has a very low self-esteem and her family is not helping. Yeah, if a sister who thinks the solution is to go and post on social media, that person is not normal. Oh, okay, maybe they're normal, but they're definitely no lakaye. There's no wisdom there. There's absolutely no wisdom there. Yeah. They are both to themselves. She's not the only victim here. Yeah, those are the part that I'm trying to push myself back on. But we saw what we saw. We saw the video and that does the talking by itself, right? We saw how toxic she was addressing that issue. Ladies, if you find yourself with a toxic man, what you do is you leave. Gentlemen, you find yourself with a woman who seems to always do things to provoke you, that you like, don't come back and be trying to justify beating up a woman later. Have some self-respect. Leave first before it gets to that point. Gentlemen, I'm talking to you. Leave first before it gets to a point where you have to let me film so that she doesn't come and tell us later that I beat her. No, leave. And don't just, if she told the story 2 years ago, leave it alone. Move on with your life. Don't come back and try to justify that nonsense because we're not going to believe you anyway. They're not going to believe you anyway. What's the point? It's useless. It's stupid. It's stupid effort. I can fix him or her. Can kilo. Facts. Facts. Scratch the guard to get 1 second gratification. At that point, if you feel the need to scratch somebody's car, check yourself into a psychiatric home. Check yourself in with a therapist. Because at that point, it's not going to be good for you. Forget the partner that may have betrayed you. We're talking about you now. Nothing good is going to come from that mindset. And if you talk that in, and you don't actually talk to a counselor, it's going to come back to the surface because you're just building resentment. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Then the pain the parents will go through as well, especially our parents that saw the direction she was going. They probably saw this 20 years ago. Yeah. They probably saw this 20 years ago. I agree with Brother Patrick. Society should shun him to make a point. This topic got me boiling. Yeah, trigger alerts, please. Trigger alerts. Trigger alerts, by all means, This is crazy, Brother Patrick. This is crazy. Here's what I want us to do. Since we're at this point right now, I think we can. There's a couple of things I want to mention about. I don't know. I'm just not feeling right about this whole thing. I think we should leave it at this. I think what's your last word for anyone going through this, Brother Patrick? I think I want to leave it at this.
Yeah, it's so funny. I spoke with a woman,
Hmm.
and she told me, I know her. So anytime she has problem, they have quarrel with the husband, he makes sure he takes blood from him. I said, what?
Take what?
Blood out of him.
You talk about AJ?
Yeah, maybe scratch him or
Ah,
do something. And this man is so gentle.
there are people that talk like that, and they will do it. If they're able to talk like that, they will probably do it.
What I'm trying to bring out, some women are very stubborn, troublemaker.
Hmm.
I'm sure you know that in America, pastor is they are mandatory reporter.
Hmm.
So if somebody comes to me and tell me so and so that I abuse a child, it is my responsibility to call the police immediately.
Yes, because it's an assault. When I say it's an assault, some people don't like that sound. It's an like, listen, if you're beating the child out of anger, it's an assault. I don't care how young the child is.
And if you come to me that I just beat my wife, it's my responsibility to call the police. Because they go to court and they mention my name, that I told my pastor I'm going to be in trouble, big one. And from what you said, the word patience. It could be the woman, it could be the man. Just patience.
Yeah.
That's the only way to win. That it's going to come. You are going to have rough time in your marriages.
Yes. Yes. If you don't have patience, and patience is something that as human beings we're actually incapable of. Let me tell you the only source of patience. God. That's the only source of patience. When you have something else that's higher than you, it doesn't have to be my own type of God. Something else that's higher than you that you subscribe to, right? That guides your life, right? And then when you have purpose, remember GPS, right?
Yeah.
And then self-respect, self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem, right? If you have that, patience is a byproduct of that. If you're disconnected from any of those three things, of course you will lack patience. You will have time for all type of nonsense every time, because there will be more than enough nonsense presented to you by your wife, by your children, by society, by your job, by your boss, right? But when you're disconnected from those three things, the idle mind is the devil's playground, ain't it?
And let me run over the multiplier effect is going to be the children, and it's going to fall back on the society. Yes. If you like, you think maybe the children they are asleep, they don't know they are younger, you are just kidding yourself. It's going to affect the children seriously.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's talk about this one before we leave, Brother Patrick. Let's use 10 minutes to talk about this couple. I'm going to introduce you to them. Okay. You probably don't know who they are. I know the guy from sports channels and stuff like that. And then the lady is also, she's, what do you call them? She's, let me post her on the screen. She's a star on reality TV shows. And they find out this gentleman and this, so they announced the divorce today. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, after 2 years. It wasn't too long. After 2 years, they announced their divorce. Now they were both divorcees. Okay. Now we know something, that we know that 75% of second marriages won't last. They won't last. They will end up in divorce. 75% of second and third marriages. And it's because of the same thing. People refuse to do the work and then they jump into something else. Sometimes they camouflage, jump into something else as, it's been 5 years. Like, it's not about how long time. Did you do the work? Did you do the work? Right? And, they usually don't do the work, So there's some 3 lessons that I want us to extract, and I want to get your words on based on what I tell you, because I have a feeling you don't know who these people are, right, Brother Patrick?
You've not posted the picture.
Oh, the picture is on the screen.
I'm not seeing it.
What screen are you looking at? Can anyone see my picture on the screen?
I see your picture, but the couple.
Yeah, the couple you're looking at right now.
Wow, I'm not seeing it,
Interesting. That's interesting. But I'll tell you the story. Her name is Cynthia Bailey. She used to be a supermodel or some sort. She was a model back in the day. She's about 50 something years old now. So we're talking about 30 years ago when she was a model. The guy is a commentator on Sports Channel, I think Sports Channel, right? And but he's also been featured on the reality TV show since they got married. So they got married in the middle of COVID.
Oh.
So yeah, so there were people with all kind of screens on their face during their wedding, right? So let me see. Are you able to see this right now? Let me see. Are you able to
Yeah,
see?
yes.
Oh, you're able to see that, but you couldn't see the picture.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this.
The lady looks young.
Yeah, she's a pretty lady. She's remember I said she's a model, but she's 53 or something like that right now.
Wow, she doesn't look that age.
Yeah, she looks good. She looks good. Yeah. She still looks good. Absolutely. So they there's been suspicions because I think they were supposed to be 2 years. They were supposed to be 2 years in some few days
I know
ago.
them.
You know them?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
I know this lady now.
Madam, they watched them, right?
No, they came to Steve Harvey's show.
Yes, they got married. That's one of the points I want to make today.
I know them. But wow.
They got married on a show.
Are you
They got
serious?
married from the show. Yeah. Yep.
Allah,
Yep.
are you serious that they divorced?
Yes, that's the statement on his page, her page.
I know that very well. I know this girl has been married before, this lady.
Yes, she has one child. She got married and divorced on TV. This is the second divorce on TV. You know, so yeah, that's the news that came out today. Now, why do we talk about this? This is divorce, it's relationship, right? So we must extract some lessons. You said what?
I'm in town. There are some things you think I don't know that I know.
One thing that you know, man, dealers of brother Patrick Jassy. Right. So the thing is that a lot of men may not know her, but a lot of men just don't sit around and watch reality TV show. But you said you watch Steve Harvey, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I know the lady. I know them very well.
Yeah. So so they did. That's one of their background. They met on Steve Harvey, and the guy was also a divorcee, right? So there's a couple of things that I wanted to extract out of this news. First of all, this statement, we keep getting this kind of PR written statement, right? We keep getting this type of statement from people that divorce, public people that divorce, and then people go in their comment and then they put love signs, love emojis, they pray for them, which is the noble thing to do, right? But there's a hidden problem with that, and that's what I wanted to point out. For every solution, there's a new problem is being created. It's just the nature of the human experience. It's not anyone's fault. Okay, for every problem that's solved, a new problem is created. For every solution, a new problem is created. So while we'll talk about how they will pray for them, all that kind of stuff. I don't know them personally, so we must extract these lessons. Okay. All right. So you can see this person says you can see Black Love, which is a show that my wife and I watch. We're one season behind now, but we like that show. I think they were on that show too, advising people. One of the reasons why I love watching Black Love on the OWN network is sometimes you hear what they're saying, like, yeah, that's not gonna fly for too long. In fact, Tia and Tamara, which I have a feeling, by the way, Tia Mowry and her husband, there's a likelihood they will get back together. And I have my reasons of saying that, okay? I have my reasons for saying that, but I think they might get back together. But now, I think they were on Black Love when the guy was trying to advise people that his work, and then he's showing his girl, right? When I speak of stuff like that, I'm like, wait, you're teaching other people Black Love, but that's how you behave, but oh well. There's no one event, because we've all been there, right? Where we do something we're not proud of, right? So so it's you know it's normal. But if you repeat this type of behavior enough times, you will lose your marriage. Okay, one time it's not going to kill anything. So, but I pick it up, but I'm able to say, hey, if you repeat this behavior enough times, you will lose your relationship, you will lose your girl, you will lose your husband, you will lose your family, right? So this is their daughter that is giving love emojis. That's all she can do, right? By the way, stay out of grown folks' business. Claudia Jordan, of course, sad face, you know. I think that's what that means, right? I think it's sad face. Let me see. Yeah. Kenya, of course. So you see all these people come out, but this statement, we must unpack the statement. What did they say? They said, love is a beautiful thing. While we both always have love for one another, we have decided this right here, this statement. You know what I'm about to do, right? You know what I'm about to do. You know what I'm about to do. That statement right there.
Stop the cap.
Okay? No. Somebody checked out. It's always one person who checked out. People can grow apart, but it's always one person who checked out. There's no we simultaneously checked out. No, it doesn't exist. That's another way of saying I'm not going to hold myself accountable. Or I don't want to hold another person accountable. Okay? But we're not in a relationship with them. Let's extract that lesson right now. I understand there's always somebody, okay, who checked out. I'm willing to guess. Who do you think checked out of this relationship? Okay? Ladies, say in the chats right now, who do you think checked out of this relationship? You can use whatever you want to use. You can use history, track record, behavior, demeanor, who is prettier. You can use whatever you want, okay? But I want to know what you think, because I don't think they gave us that information, right? Who checked out of this relationship, right? So they go, no one is to blame. While I don't like blame as a strategy to build life, this is also cap, okay? All right? This is cap. But the truth, okay? When a relationship breaks down, okay, everyone is to blame, okay? So, but in the full body of what they're saying right now in the context, it's cap. And we are grateful that we remain good friends. We will always cherish the many memories and we've shared together as husband and wife. All right, so a PR specialist wrote this. You could tell, okay? But the problem with it is that the public don't learn any lesson from that. Why did you get married 2 years later? You get divorced. Do you not know that you're destroying the image of marriage for people who may want to try?
Very good point.
For a lifetime, right?
Good point, Ola. I like that point.
Like, oh, it's a beautiful thing. We just got married and we had to go our separate way 2 years. Like, what? Okay, maybe they're just healing. They want to wait and not talk too much. I can respect that. But for us, so we go call out the lessons today before it gets too late. Many of you have been on this journey with us from the very beginning. And we appreciate our family, friends, and beloved fans for your positive support as we move forward and start new chapters. Okay, so people's lives are now being divided into chapters. Listen, if it's toxic, it's toxic. It is what it is. I don't advise anyone to stay in a relationship that's not valuable to them, right? So thank you for your prayers and well wishes. I do wish them well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit like on this right now. All right, so now with that being said, a couple of things. The truth will come out, right? There are a couple of things that I pulled up, okay? And I want to tell you what I picked up. I seen them on the show, the reality TV show. When we were stuck at home, they were trying to do, shortly after the whole COVID thing, they were showing them trying to get married on reality TV show. There were some arguments that just were not necessary that told me. Now, if this was a young couple, people that have never been married before, they can argue with their woman at this level. But the argument was stupid. The way Mike Hill was engaged in that argument was an indication for me that he had not learned anything from his previous relationships. And it's even worse for him that he's getting married to a rock star that has shown track records that If you no do, she go leave. If you no do, she's out. That's basically what she's done publicly in front of us, right? She's the type of chick that will actually mean what she said in that statement. Because if you see the way she relates with our baby father, Leon, she means it. She can get married to you, divorce you 6 months later, and be friends with you for life, and friend zone you, and she feels nothing about it. That's the kind of person she is. I didn't give you the answer yet. I want to know what your guesses are. Let me see what Edwin. Let me see. Somebody is capping big time here. Chinye, you're capping. Temilado says, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised either. Good to see you, Temilado. Mario says, everyone could see this wasn't going to work before they got married. Cynthia is unlucky. Luck. Okay. I hear you, Marriott. Oh, really? Tell us what you see that makes you think they will come back together. Maybe we'll cover it in another video entirely. But I think they will come back together. I think the guy, he has his ways. Like, I used to be like him. I'm like a stern guy. I walk like a straight line. I project that on my wife. And sometimes you have to almost lose your wife before you start to understand the damages you're creating by being that way, by not being tolerable, by not, my wife told me one time, she said, you don't let me get away with anything. And it got to me. I'm like, wait. She feels that way. It was like, I think she had been saying it in so many ways before, but she said it that one day and I felt it. I'm like, like that's somebody looking for some level of grace, right? So if their only issue is that he doesn't give enough grace, if she loves him enough, but again, Tia has been posting Slay Mama pictures for a few months too, like she's looking for some type of attention. That's usually a bad sign too. They're looking for attention somewhere else that they're not getting. It's a void that they're looking to fill, Mario said he has never loved nor been faithful to any of the women he has been with, including the mother of his kids. He had 11 female friends. Marriott, bravo, you picked that up. It's one of the lessons we're going to learn. Gentlemen, we'll learn today, right? A man who says that, you will push a Cynthia away easily. Because number one, you're going to smother her to death. Wait, you tell Cynthia that she's the only woman you've ever loved? I know it sounds beautiful on the surface, but Cynthia has a track record that she's not comfortable with a person being all over her like that. She can enjoy somebody loving her, being in love with her, but more so in action. But you saying it out and then you're throwing a bunch of other people under the bus for her sake, that's going to backfire. That was my prediction when we saw that. Okay? You threw your child. The child was crying. Let me tell you this story. Brother Patrick. So they were doing their normal reality TV show thing, right? And this guy claims he has about 50 female friends. And they were all over to celebrate, I think, their engagement or something like that. They were engaged or they just got married, I'm not sure. Right? And he had all these women all over the place in the house, and they were celebrating Cynthia, right? And his own daughter from his previous marriage was there. And this guy was saying it out loud that he was married to the mother of this child. And he was saying it out loud that I've never been in love with any woman in my life except Cynthia. Now, Cynthia is there. Cynthia is supposed to feel good, Abby, right? It's just, he can claim he's just telling the truth. That's just how I feel. I'm just telling the truth, right? No one should have any problem with the truth, except that his own daughter had a problem with that. And that baby started to cry. She was crying her balls out. Wow. What do you think that would do to Cynthia? Would that make her feel comfortable or uncomfortable?
Yeah, Cynthia will even look at him as being heartless. How could you have done that? I mean, Lord, that is sure he's not matured.
It's maturity. At the age of like 50, this guy should be about 50 or so too.
Yeah, say I'm in love with you. Enough. You don't have to be saying not be in love with any woman except that's baloney. Let me put it American way.
Right. Why? If you have to throw other women, other people under the bus to tell a woman you love her, that same woman will never respect you. She may seem like she respects you in the moment. In fact, she may be loving that you're doing that in that moment in time. But it's just a moment in time. What about mid-term to long-term? What about this type of behavior where you lack emotional intelligence to not be able to say something, to not say something stupid like that?
Yeah.
Is that going to reflect in other areas of your life? Do you lack emotional intelligence in general? Right? This is a guy who wrote a book. They wrote a book. I think they might have written a book together, actually. Right? He wrote a book. Now, all these things and all this kind of stuff. They know, these are the kind of guys that know all the textbook things to say. But emotional intelligence is not, I don't know how to say this. That's why I keep talking about it, because even me myself, I'm a perpetual student of it. I don't always get it right. The idea is you master your own emotions first, and then you master the people you are interacting with, their emotions, and then you master the emotion of the general society at large, because you don't live in a cave. There are rules to the society that we live in, right? But if you lack that foresight to not say something so stupid in that moment in time, with your daughter present, right? Is that behavior translating to other areas of your life? I am willing to bet yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Hey Esther, good to see you. Good to see you. So that's the first lesson. Thanks to Mario, she helped us pull it out. That was going to be one of my first lessons. Good evening, Ola, Ebo, Patrick, everyone. Yes, all of us. Thank you for being here. Maybe the guy. Nah, Cynthia Bailey is done. She's not that chick. She's lived 50 years by herself. Right? If the least thing you must have if you're going to get with a Cynthia Bailey, a copy of $10, any type of superstar, any type of person that has a higher status than you, the least thing you must have is emotional intelligence. If you don't have that, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. Okay? Because you're already practicing something that's already kicking against societal standards. Right? You're looking up to your lady, status-wise. It can work, but you must be 100% secure in yourself. If you're not, which is almost impossible, it's almost impossible to be 100% secure in yourself. We're all human beings. There are things that we doubt ourselves in, that we get caught up in our emotions, right? So we're asking you to walk a straight line emotionally. It's almost impossible. Right? She will leave. Naturally so, because she don't have to deal with the bullshit. Right? So no, D-Love, you and Chinye, you're capping. It's not the guy. I am willing to bet it's Cynthia who says, I woke up today, I think we should go our separate ways. I think she did, okay? Plus, we also know that 70 to 80% of the time, women initiate divorce. Okay? There are reasons why they initiate it. That's the part that guys don't like to discuss. But the truth is that the numbers indicates that the women initiate divorce 70 to 80% of the time. That doesn't make women at fault. It makes it they are the one who gets to the court first. Okay? But who got to everything else first? Like everything else, like the breakdown of communication, who got to that first? Right? Who got to lack of emotional intelligence first, right? Who is the person who doesn't think there's a need to understand a woman first, right? All these other things that happens behind the scenes before a person walks to the court and file paper. Who got to those first? There's no data for that, huh? Right? That's why people are not interested in marriage these days. These kind of statements, because why should I go into marriage if you're going to put out a statement saying, "Oh, we still love each other," but what's the point in doing that? Why would I go into marriage, right? I take American celebrity marriages with a pinch of salt, except that they are the influencers. You're right, but they are the influencers, right? They are. There are normal people, daily people, not majority, of course, that read this kind of things, they internalize it. They say maybe I can live my life too, and I'm not feeling good about this relationship. Let's just call it irreconcilable differences. What do they call it in UK? I think they call it something different. What do they call it? They can't something similar, right? That's when we say, hey, I just don't feel right about it anymore, right? It is what it is, By your explanation is Cynthia. Yeah, by my explanation, right? But please remind me when I'm wrong, okay? Because I know that I'm going to be wrong in one of these stories that we're covering, right? They both never learned from their last fact. Well, we know for a fact Cynthia didn't learn anything from her previous marriages. She's just going by her feelings. Oh, I met a guy on Steve Harvey's show. He's such a cute guy. Oh, chicka, 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 chicka. Let's go ahead and get married. That's how I feel about how she does it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm stretching it, okay? But the vibe she gives off, she needs to feel good. If she doesn't feel right, even if everything else is right, it's not going to work. And a man who lacks emotional intelligence to the extent of saying he's never been in love with anybody else in front of his own daughter is definitely not going to keep Cynthia for a long time. That's a fact. Okay? Cynthia said, I cannot come and go and key myself. Exactly. Bagaba, that's my point. Yep. Tolerance. The older you get before you get married, the lower your tolerance. Naturally. It's not a crime. It's just the reality. It's just the reality. Mario said, thank God you listened. Thank God, though. Thank God, though. I listened and I worked. He may have a second thought and return to her if he loves her so much. Yeah. Mr. Allah watches Housewives. Woot woot. Love it. Yeah, this is my wife watches it. Anything she watches. And see, one of the things I like reality TV shows, right? Especially the most ratchet ones, right? Because I don't have to overthink. I could just stumble into any scene and be entertained, and I can live in between the scene. I don't have to follow the story, right? So I do watch. If she's watching them, I watch them. So a lot of men don't even like to admit to that, but whatever. You need to be wise when you are telling this so-called truth. Exactly. Let me just tell truth. Let me just be truthful. Honesty is best honest. How do you say? Honesty is the best policy of life. Let me just tell my full chest. Then you lose your relationship. People should learn to think for the long run. That's hard. That's a fact, Bhagavad, but it's very hard. Everyone cares about how they feel. Every single one of us. So it's about finding a balance. Like you can't say, hey, I don't feel. Facts over feelings. That doesn't work either. You must acknowledge that you're a human being. You do feel. You have emotions. But you must also be aware that if you live on that, it's going to destroy you. So it's about finding a striking balance there, I changed my answer already. Oh, sorry. I'm lagging behind. I'm making sure I cover everything. Let's praise her. She knows how to live when it's not right. She didn't let what family or the public like us think. She left for her happiness. I am definitely not praising her for that. She should stay away from marriage for the rest of her life. If my suspicions are true, because I don't know her, right? She definitely should stay away from marriage for life. So no, I'm not praising her. I'm sorry, Marriott. I will not be praising her for jumping into marriages and leaving after. No. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't just throw our hands in the air and let everything fly where they want to fly. No. We can't do that. There's a structure to the society that we enjoy today. And you and I must try a little bit to maintain certain level of structure, right? We have to do that, right? Because remember I said, if you don't feel right, probably you should leave the marriage. But please also stay away from marriage. If you're seeing patterns that you're not able to stay in committed relationships, please there are other human beings involved in these behaviors, right? There are good men like Mike Hill. The emotional intelligence is not there, but the right woman sometimes will help them get there. Like nobody falls out of the skies with emotional intelligence. So I can't even shame men for lacking emotional intelligence. I can correct them. I can say, hey, you lack emotional intelligence. You're going to lose your girl. But the truth is that no one is perfect. So for somebody to randomly come into people's life and say, anytime I don't feel, I just leave. No. Leave completely and don't come back. Listen, it's a free world after all, right? You can have sex with people as much as you want. You don't have to have sex. You can do you, right? But no, I don't think we should be painting, because marriage as the family structure is still very important. And there's too many studies that show that the best of society come out of marriage, two-parent household. For obvious reasons, there's no need to argue that. It's structure, right? Structure. The same things we enjoy about our society today. So sorry, Marriott. No, I will not be praising her for going in and out of marriage anywho, right? She also tends to attract certain type of men. Peter. Anybody remember Peter Thomas? He was an emotional man. Not emotional intelligence, emotional man. Like he will curse you out if there's need to curse you out. Doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. He will tell the truth as it comes. That's not a wise thing for men to do. As it comes, as I think about it, I just say it. That's not a wise thing for men to do. Are you taking notes, Brother Patrick? I need to hear your thoughts on this.
I'm not taking notes. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, okay, all right. No, as in notes, mental notes.
Yeah.
He had cheating rumors months in. I think it was over from then. Cynthia is definitely not tolerating that. Definitely not. The guy was so smooth. He's a fine man, right? But I don't think Cynthia cares about that. Cynthia, if you make Cynthia feel safe, she will stay. How many men can make somebody feel safe 100% of the time? Right? That's unrealistic expectations at best, right? Sometimes, you're going to have disconnects. You're going to have disagreements. Right? It's what makes it beautiful when you come back together. It's what creates the frame of reference. If everything is just smooth and nice all the time, that's boring too. Attraction will die off with that as well. Mr. Olana, wow, Cynthia Bailey don't suffer. I'm sorry, Marriott. You know how to tell the truth. Truth, red flag. Anybody that says truth now, I say like red flag. He wants to tell the truth. He lacks emotional intelligence. I didn't say that, I didn't say that. But when you have a personal relationship with people, truth has limitations, okay? You're going to hurt the people you love. They're going to leave you and then regret it later because you're a good person, but they left you already anyway because you're busy always telling the truth. You lack emotional intelligence, okay? He was slick, but it was easier for us to see it. She wants love for the sake of love, ignoring red flags everywhere. Cynthia Bailey will ignore she's that chick. She will ignore all the red flags if she feels good. If loving you ain't, how do you sing that song? If loving you is wrong, then I don't want to be right. That's Cynthia Bailey. That's a lot of people too, by the way, right? I'm not sure it does any work to make it work. No. Nope. He's probably, because he comes off as an emotional guy to me. Like he needs his feelings to be right too. Those two combinations can go together. Okay? We need to complement each other. Okay? If me and you were always in our emotions, I need to feel right. I need to feel safe too. You need to feel safe too. If that's 100% of our conversation in the name of communication, it won't last. We're human beings. Let's not deceive ourselves. It won't last. We always need one person who tends to they don't mind making sure their partner is good. The other person will reciprocate, meaning they will multiply, meaning it comes in folds. It's even better what they reciprocate, right? But if everybody is waiting for everybody to make themselves feel safe, it's competition. It won't last. I honestly think she could have made it work with Peter. Yeah, but she's not that chick. Remember, we've established that, right? She's not that chick. I'm sorry. She's not making nothing. We better work or I'm leaving. That's what I see with Cynthia. And women like that are beautiful. There's some of the best things we like about them. They just float. They're always in their femininity, right? They're not going to put structure around your shit. You better bring the structure. Okay? And if you start to, even if your structure get too boring, they might leave. See, attraction is not your mate. Just always keep that at the back of your mind. Even on Real Housewives Atlanta show, an African priest, spiritual divination, told her she would be lonely for the Jesus. I think I recall something like that. Damn. That's terrible. Money and wealth conversations. I think I recall something like that. Jesus. I think so, but he was using her as a piggy bank. All that housewives money was disappearing. I mean, don't they make like over $500,000 per year? It's good money. Came from. He was a leech in every sense of the word.
Wow.
Damn. I can't argue with you. Money and wealth conversations. I feel like I saw that. Women like Cynthia Bailey, they don't like leeches. They may like it initially. It might seem cute initially when they're in love, but they get tired of it very quickly. If you don't know how to say, let me give her some space, it won't last. Especially a woman of a certain age, 50 years old, getting married to you with this type of temperament, personality. She picked that up. This is bigger than I thought. True, but if she hung on a little while longer, she's now hanging on to... they listen to me. Cynthia is not hanging on to CC. If it doesn't feel right, she's out. Like 100% feelings. Right? But if she hung on a little while longer, that money was going to come back. He's doing well and expanding his businesses now. We're talking about Peter Thomas, right? Nah. Peter Thomas was it was a guy of a certain age. He was like 50 plus. And his finances were not stable. That's a recipe for disaster. And then you borrow money from her and then you don't return the money. And then all of that comes with... remember I said she attracts certain type of guys. And then all of that comes with certain types of drama. They're always settling fight between you and women, other women. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't gonna last. I think they even tried. I think they were almost up to 5 years. That one even lasted longer. I was referring to Cynthia about probably not doing the work. Yeah, Cynthia is not doing work. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that girl's not doing any work. She might sit in therapy and say, oh, it feels good, sounds good. I can fall in love again. She will fall in love and then we exit again. The spirit was spot on for every woman on that show. Yeah, was it the same priest that was predicting for Candy and her husband? Most Americans are like that in relationships. That's one of the reasons most of their marriages don't last. Anyway, there's a lot of people like that. It's just about finding a person that complements you. A woman with that type of temperament needs a man who is emotionally intelligent. Most people are not. Most human beings are not. Okay, so that's almost like an unrealistic expectation of some sort, to some extent. But people can be emotionally intelligent. It's just the ability to be able to listen in real time. Okay, the ability to be able to listen in real time is what we're talking about. Without the need to, you don't put this thing on yourself that you must have the answer. You don't have to have an answer, right? If you understand that, then you'll be fine. Let me just, I'm going to cover the lessons that I had real quickly, and then I want to hear what Patrick has to say. That COVID wedding, his reactions to their disagreements about it, it's red flags everywhere in the way he was interacting with her. Has never been in love with Cynthia before. As you can see, I actually had that on my banners before you said that, Marriott. So that was a good point you raised. Their statement, that statement tells us a lot. It tells us they didn't write it. It tells us these ones they didn't do any work. There's no way you can claim they did any work in 2 years. Anyway, Yeah, that was the other one. Those are the three lessons that I had. But Patrick, let me hear what you have to say about what you've heard so far, especially that you know their background. They came from the Steve Harvey show. I think that was also red flag, but I'll let them pass. I think people that meet each other on the show is it's a lot of red flag around that as well. Brother Patrick, I'm hearing you, sir.
Yeah, people have already made justice to this couple in this platform. Yeah, there are very good points made about them.
Yeah,
and from
definitely.
what I'm seeing, and Cynthia is smart.
Yes.
Yeah, she's smart. And you know, I don't really trust the guy.
You don't trust him, Abby?
Yeah, he has fleet of women. You know, as
He said they were friends.
I know, but you know, so you know, if you want to come in as a wife, some would not even want. Women are jealous. Who knows? So, you know, for that statement he made during the engagement was totally wrong.
Right, that statement was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that statement was and it was earlier on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it shows that the guy is one of those guys that can make decisions anytime. So, you know, one of those hard guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, women, matured women, they think deeply.
Yes.
Let me tell you, mature women think deeply, especially when they kind of value themselves. And
I agree.
They would, you know, by the time they make up their mind, they say, I just gave my body to you, they'll just cut off.
Like you're out. So even more so of the reason, in addition to the personality, she's a woman of a certain age. She knows what she wants.
Yes. But no, it's like I just give myself to you and you want to start. No, I'm done.
Yeah.
You will never go there again. You never have the opportunity again. You know what I mean? They prize themselves.
Yeah.
I know, you know, like maybe you watch this lady, Fumi Vaughn. This Sally Vaughn, maybe you know her. She's in England. She's married to one white guy, Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at their marriage, you know that there is genuine love there. Yes, they have a kid. I used to watch her son, but it's been a while.
Okay.
You know the way they interact, their home, how they started. You know, the guy was there. You will know, even the girl was a celebrity too. Yeah, she was a model in those days in New York. And you know, the father was a commissioner back in Nigeria then. So I watched her show. I saw Fumi Sally Vaughn. And then yes. So I want you will know that, but yes, this is really genuine.
Right.
Guy went to Nigeria to marry her. I watched everything, brought his people, they double, they paid the dowry, and you know, the guy too, you know, she said, oh, this is my bus stop. You will know the home, you know, she came from. But you know, but this guy, you know, like we said, he has not learned from his past.
He didn't. Yes. That's my prediction. He didn't learn anything. It seems like he's you know, he's
and Cynthia too.
He fell in love with the star.
Yeah, and Cynthia too. They both rushing to it.
Right. Cynthia was fresh out of Peter's relationship. Yeah.
And later that, you know, Cynthia began to realize that maybe I made a huge mistake. Yes.
Like I don't know if I can. This guy is pretty. It's nice. It's a fine man, but I stress out too much.
Like, I always that thing begin to ring on my, you know, like this woman has said, Reverend, what's it called? The Reverend in Akure.
Reverend Auntie Funke Dollar.
Yeah, Reverend Funke.
Right.
You know, she says something that, you know, when a man carry a woman, the woman will say, well, I conquered her. Wow. And the woman will say, I own him. So it's a two different feeling.
Those are the girlfriends, by the way. You see my screen right now?
I see it. I see
Those
it.
those are the girls that are his friends. You see him in between them. That's his head, right in between on the left hand side.
Yes, I see
Maybe
it.
two guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see his head.
So even Steve Harvey told us. Steve Harvey believes that a man cannot just be platonic friends with a woman. Do you believe that?
yeah, it depends on maturity.
Well, it depends on maturity, right?
Yes, especially when you are married, you don't want to mess up your marriage. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because it's not about you doing the right thing or you're wrong. It's about what does it feel like.
Yeah.
Does this facilitate trust or it tampers with trust, right?
Anywhere you go to, you always have people that will like you, but you have to be disciplined. The word discipline has to be there. You
Yeah.
just have
Yes.
to. You don't want to mess up.
Somebody got us here. Isabel says she's a Pisces too. My wife is a Pisces, so I know what I'm talking about. Exactly. She got that right.
Just
Yep.
just like my wife too.
Oh, she's a
So
Pisces?
which month is Pisces? I don't know.
March, early March.
Oh, my
Not the
wife is
late.
February. My wife was born in February 14th,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Valentine's Day. So there are some girls that once they make up their mind and say they are done, they are done.
Yeah.
Like despite the fact that she rushed into the marriage, it could still, assuming the guy is nice, you can still, from there even go for therapy. And when they find out that wow, it's like we are repeating the same thing, but I love you. What do we do to save this thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But but it's too even early now. I don't know the background. Maybe there's something that must have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been 2 years. It's been 50 years she's been in this life. She's a Pisces. She has a trauma from prior relationships because Peter was not the nicest person. But he loved her. Peter was in love with Cynthia. He cried. He cried with cameras in his face when he realized he was about to lose her. I don't even like to remember that image right now because I felt for him, right? But then he was
Yes.
busy saying all the right things. He just wanted to be right all the time.
Yes. See, people like, yeah. So, Cynthia might probably need a good friend. Yeah.
You said good friend?
Yeah. A good, a husband that will be a friend to her that will love
Oh,
her.
thank you. Thank
Genuinely, you
you.
understand?
Exactly. Women like this, if you're not going to be just light-headed friend, you like to have fun together. If you're going to do all that duty responsibility stuff, it's not going to work for you. It won't. Because even if they know the right thing, even if it's duty responsible, if it feels wrong, they're always going to go with their feelings. And rightfully so.
Bro, you may not even be closer to some women, but they will know that something, this man, they are not there's some women that will call, they will tell me 20 years sorry.
Right.
Even about their husband. I know. I will trust this man. Are you getting me? They will trust this man. They know you can't mess up, that they can leave their daughter with you. That's what we are talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There should be that trust. There should be that integrity.
Yep.
When you are hiding your phone from a woman, why should you go to that level?
Well, if you have to hide your phone for a woman, somebody is not comfortable. So, that's going to backfire.
She's 50 plus. So what are we talking about? She's a lady.
We know she's going to be fine. She's comfortable in her skin already, being single. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying now.
But is she comfortable? Why is she jumping into a new marriage so soon? Is she comfortable?
Yeah, but she must have made that mistake. But that man should give her that respect. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
The way you carry your wife, give her that respect.
Yeah, it's absolutely the way you carry her.
As a matured man.
Yeah.
Maybe this 30 friends might even be coming in between them. The man might still be hanging out with them and all those. You don't want to do that.
Esther doesn't believe any of these chicks. Esther is like, cap. Esther is like, stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
It's just like female know they hang around men for no reason. Female friends with benefit. She's not falling for that.
You know, I said it. I said it.
Right. You know, maybe it's called for the camera. There's camera in their face at this point in time. Maybe, but he claims these are his friends. That's quite a bit.
Let me give you one funny example.
Who talked about Fumi Desalu? Somebody is talking about some Fumi. Who is Fumi?
It's me. Yeah.
You referenced it earlier. Okay.
Yeah, I referenced it. Yeah, that's the lady. Yeah.
Right. It's something else. Go ahead, sir. You were saying something, sir.
Yes, that was funny. It's been very long time when my baby I just had my second baby then.
Okay.
So that was that time when there is no cell phone, landline. So one of my ex, I just don't know. He called my house and left a message.
So random.
Sir, he won't say sir. He won't say sir. Congratulations, sir. You know what I'm saying? Well, my wife was the one that listened to the voice message. She was mad. Why is he calling you?
Because she knows this person as your ex.
And most of my ex, and it's not, I'm sorry, on national TV, it's not as if I have many.
Well, Patrick Ijasi, what is over earlier? It's continuous, sir. You're doing well, sir.
They can't even call me Patrick. That's the funniest man. What is wrong with this guy?
Because you said you were a pastor back in the days now.
Yeah, by God's grace. So they were like, they can't even call me Patrick. I'm like, no, what is wrong with you? So she even said, congratulations, sir. All those things. My wife was mad. Why? Who gave her your number? I don't know. Maybe she had.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous game. Please don't call your ex house. Thank you very much. Even if you don't mean any harm, you can create harm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for a baby being born, so I was like, what is going on? You know me now.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think it's not as if I went to delete the message.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this. I know a lot of Americans that I know way too much for me to generalize at all with Americans, right? They have, in fact, the ones that I know, I try to tell them to not be so emotional. To not be so, rigid. They want to discount emotion. I said, no, emotions is part of life. You can't discount it. It's just part of life. We're all emotional. The whole marketplace is driven by emotions. I say that all the time because actually majority of them that I know, they are accusing their counterpart. Like they're accusing the female gender of either they're too emotional or they're not emotional. So there's no matter where you go, there are emotional people and there are people that are too rigid, right? It's about, again, these things are not about right and wrong. It's about striking a balance. It's about educating our kids on emotional intelligence. If you educate them on emotional intelligence, not just textbook, it's not enough just to know what that means, dictionary meaning. It's about calling it out when you see it at play, when you see it happening. How would you handle that, baby? How would you handle that? So what's the right response for that? Okay, when is the right time to wait a little bit, exercise some patience before you address certain things? These are the kind of conversation you want to have with your kids. So that where they go date any human being, as long as that person is a human being, they're going to be some that are emotional and some that are not as emotional. They're too rigid, right? It's about striking a balance. It's the extreme of both ends that you don't want. So that's for you, Miss Alamudu. Just wanted to point that out really quickly. All right. It could be just a female where both of you are matured and have boundaries, not a fleet of women. It could just be a female where both of you are matured and have boundaries, not a fleet of women. It's still cap. I'm still with Steve Harvey on that. There's no need to have a bunch of females around you on a regular if you're not sleeping with them. It's not no. Okay. Like no, right? We just started. I see how in a perfect world you're just this mature guy, right? Right? You're just this mature guy. Again, that's putting yourself on a pedestal. There's a reason why you're so comfortable with them around you. Who's to say that's not going to cross line into romantic feelings at some point? Right? It's just something to be aware of, that's all. But I never say all or never or always. I've never used those absolutes. But it's highly unlikely for any human being to be able to sustain that, even if they mean well, without damaging their good relationship. Okay? Because you mean what you mean, but the other person need to feel kind of comfortable with this. Because she said something. Let me show you something she said here. Thank God I didn't close this yet. Let me show you something she said. I think it's here. I'm not sure. This is on TMZ. Shout out to TMZ because they don't cap with their statements. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Did I close it? No. Oh, it's right here. Okay, it was on OK Magazine. Okay, she says something here. I have a great relationship with Mike's girls. Think about that. She said Mike's girls. There's a lot in what she just said right there. That's loaded and pregnant. Mike's girls. I'm still getting to know them. Even more pregnant. That's like twins. This statement is pregnant. Okay? And they are still getting to know me. Triplets. Be away. Excuse me. Cynthia, 49, proudly shared in a confessional. Killer is the youngest. Oh, you know what? I think she's talking about the daughters here. Okay, she's talking about the daughters. I was looking at that. I thought she was talking about all these girls, right? If she was talking about them, let me tell you something. She could never trust these girls. It's as simple as that. So yeah, she was talking about his daughters here, right? So yeah, that was that. I think we extracted some good lessons from that. What do you think, Bra Mike? I said Bra Mike. Bra Patrick. What do you think?
We did justice to it at least.
Yeah.
We are learning a great deal from this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
even we Naija people have our own pepper for body. Chinye said. For body, let me say properly.
It's good to learn from this. I tell you.
Yes. Even me, I learn as we're going because these stories, I try not to read too much. You see, sometimes I'm surprised. I try not to read too much into it. I just see the headline, maybe a little description. I say, this one's going to be good. And so that we can process it together because I believe that we need to build our strength of real-time processing emotional matters in real time. Like, assess it, like you can be wrong. Like, for example, that statement I just read, I was thinking it was the girls, right? But then I was corrected instantly. Those are the daughters, right? In real time, are you able to correct yourself? Are you able to pivot? Are you able to say, oh, I misunderstood you. I apologize for that. Oh, you know what? Let me understand. I didn't get what you were saying. Okay, let me process that. You don't have to have all the answers. Gentlemen, you don't have to have all the answers. Because that's some of the fear that they have. Like, oh, you're telling us to walk this straight line and satisfy this woman all the time. No. As a matter of fact, what I'm trying to tell you is to engage your soft life. You're stressing yourself. Don't kill yourself. You're stressing yourself. Engage, as a man, engage soft life. Listen. Engage the conversation. You tell her, that's a good point, babe. Let me think about that. I really never give that. I need to give that a full thought. Babe, this is what I feel about that. I may feel different tomorrow, but this is what I feel. Just be a human being, right? But you give grace to the other person to be a human being. You give them the grace to express their expectations. You manage your own expectations, right? If you can't do that, definitely you can't be with the Cynthia. Forget. It's a matter of time. She will leave you.
And you know one thing I've learned from this marriage is that, you know, we should not be carried away by attraction.
Attraction.
Yes. Don't forget about that chemistry. It's not about no chemistry in this. You want to go to marry, you need to know each other very well. It's very important.
At some point, yes, you need to be aware.
Yes. You know, like I was commenting on one comment somebody made that was asking for is is online dating good? I said, well, online dating is good. It's a platform to meet people that are,
Yes.
you
It's
have
just
like
media.
minds. Yes, but you
Yep.
still have to come together, get to know each other physically. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like putting your resume there, applying for a job.
Yep, exactly.
Yes, when they, when they virtually look at you, you think you are the best fit. You want to come in for interview physically.
Right.
It could be through Zoom or what they want to know you. Can you do the job?
Mm-hmm.
Partners are going to talk to you. So you need to know each other.
Yep.
Even when you get married, so you will still be struggling. Not to talk of just because you are attracted to the guy, you don't know each other, you just went into marriage.
Mm-hmm. You can meet anyone in the market. Market was the medium once upon a time, right?
Yeah.
So internet is the medium, right? The social media is just a form of medium a form of media, I should say, where you meet people. But that's not the end of it. Can you get to know people? Have you worked on yourself enough to be able to discern bullshit and filter them out? if you can't do that, then it's not a matter of internet. You will do the same mistake in real life. You meet person for church and you don't know how to pick up that there's no compatibility here. I can't. This guy they talk too much. I know if it's talk. Right? Right? So you don't know how to gauge these things with respect to what creates good experience for you, right? That's what we call discernment, right? So or you get attracted and your brain is only thinking about the attraction. We know that that's only going to last for so long, right? What after that wears out, what else is left? Are you paying attention to everything else beyond the fact that you are attracted romantically to this person, which is what Brother Patrick was just saying, So it's some of the things I think Cynthia is definitely. I think it was a good case study. None of them are wrong. They were both right. But we also know that while you are busy being right, you can create terrible outcomes for the society at large. People are watching you. They're looking at that statement. They're now saying, okay, maybe we should put out a statement too. And they don't want to do the necessary work. They now think the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is not greener on the other side. Somebody is wetting that grass, or is fake, synthetic, plastic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming on board to help us elevate the conversation, Brother Patrick.
Thank
And
you very much.
my love to your family.
I appreciate you always.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
We'll
talk soon. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a good one. Let me do some quick shout outs. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Chinye. Shout out to Bagava. Shout out to Mrs. She Said. Shout out to Temilade Alamudu. I like pronouncing that name. D'Souza. Love always. Thank you. Shout out to... What am I missing? Money and Wealth Conversations. Shout out to you. Shout out to Marriott. Thank you so much. Shout out to... I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone today. D-Love. Shout out to you. Bagavad. Shout out to... Hey, cutie. Shout out to you. I see that. Who else am I missing? Shout out to Esther. Isabel. Shout out to you, Isabel. Good to see you all today. This was a good one. Yep, I think I covered everyone. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't worry, I will keep bringing the topics, okay? And if you have any suggestion topics, you want to know my opinions on it, anything like that, feel free to use the community page. You can post stuff as a comment on any one of the videos, and then we can take it from there. We'll see if it's a viable question, right? Let me end with this question from Mrs. She Said. I tagged it earlier. She said, who do we blame? Ourselves for staying, or the person that exhibits the toxic behavior? Most people blame the other person. I blame the one who stays. I said it. So for me, I stay away from the word blame in general. I just stay away from the word blame. All right. So if I'm blaming the person that stays, does that empower them? Right? That's actually the real question. It's not necessarily about the word blame. Whatever it is that we choose to do, does that empower them to do the right thing or to do what's going to create the best outcome for the family at large, right? That's what it comes down to. When you blame certain types of people, instead of receiving the blame, they fire back multiple times over and it doesn't really help anything. And sometimes this person is a person in your life. You actually can't afford for them to lose their cool too. So it's not, so I definitely just stay away from the word blame. I would rather say we should take responsibility for leaving whoever is complaining. If you're the one that gets to the complaining first, you have the power to change your outcome. You may not just know, but you can absolutely change the direction of things, right? That energy that you're putting into complaint, we can redirect it, right? Sometimes it's the person who stays, sometimes the person who is leaving, sometimes the person who is the toxic behavior, right? But I'll pay attention to the person that's complaining, right? That person, we can leverage their energy, redirect in the right direction and say, what can you do to facilitate empowerment for this relationship, even if it means we're going our separate ways, right? That's what we're talking about, So shout out to you. Chinye says she finished listening to the book. Thank you so much. Yes, that book is, I have to go and listen again now. Yeah, it's called Get My Marriage Back. You can find it at getmymarriageback.com. Okay. You can download the PDF for free, or you can pay for the Kindle, or you can pay for the audiobook on Amazon and audible.com. Or if you don't mind the PDF is free. You can get it at www.getmymarriageback.com. And I just posted that into the chat. All right. D-Love says, good one, definitely. Yes, this was a good one. Thank you. I'll look out for the review. If you read the book, please make sure you're leaving good reviews everywhere too. Audible, on Amazon, everywhere. Okay, it's available everywhere. All right. And thank you, Isabel. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. With that being said, let's go ahead and close up this classic so that everyone else can, I'm sure there'll be more people that will be coming back to review this tomorrow. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you on the next one. Peace.